And that was WrestleMania. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. Welcome back to Wrestling with Omer. I am your host, Omer Q. We're coming out of night one of a amazing buy one to get one free two-night extravaganza known as WrestleMania. I butchered that line, but it's because I'm tired. Happy Easter to everyone celebrating. He has risen, all that stuff. No, but seriously, happy Easter to everyone. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Easter Sunday. And, if it's your thing, happy 420 to you as well. A lot to get into today. I see the bunnies in the chat. Shout out to the bunnies. We love the bunnies. What's good? Happy Easter. I'm doing great. Happy Easter to you too, Wall Street Money. Michelle, how are things? Things are fine. Things are great. Things are fantastic because I'm going to be with you for the next hour or so talking about the wonderful, wacky world of professional wrestling. So much happened over the last 24 hours that made WWE, WrestleMania, and so many other things eventful. One of which I never, honestly, in my wildest dreams could have possibly conceived, and that was the acquisition of AAA by WWE. I have very strong thoughts about this, and I will get into that. But we also had a card last night, a WrestleMania Night 1 card, that played out pretty much how I thought it would. And I went into this, and you guys are kind of all witness to it. By the way, guys, if you're in the chat, be sure to smash that thumbs up. Great reminder to everyone out there to hit that like button. But last night, I was kind of confirmed in my belief that WrestleMania was going to be, at least night one was going to be a show on paper for the sake of having a show on paper. Largely, that's what it was. That is not to minimize the efforts of talent last night. That is not to minimize the whatever of how hard people worked. It is just my view as a fan, and it is one opinion. I happen to think it's the right one, but we'll get into it. But first, if you guys want my too long didn't read TLDR version of what I think or what I think of night one of WrestleMania, here it is.
I am going to ruin wrestling.
That is what Triple H did last night. That is what Triple H did last night, in my view. Did he really ruin professional wrestling? Not really with WrestleMania, more so with the Triple H decision. I am pissed. I am absolutely pissed about that decision. But we'll talk about it. Of course, a lot more happened. Let's just go right through the timeline. We all know this major occurrence. Well, my God, Paul Heyman really got up in there. Shout out to him. We had so much to talk about. Shout out to Jey Uso, by the way, at this press conference. Before we even get into it, Jey Uso obviously won the World Championship last night, and they had my man come out yeeted out of his mind after probably partying, deservedly so, that victory. Hold on, watch this.
Yeet. Hell yeah, I love it. Fire. Internet, I don't know what it is. Soak it in, because this is it right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but hell yeah. Two-time world shockers. I'm damn near world heavyweight champ.
Damn near. You are world heavyweight champ, Oos. You are world heavyweight champ, Oos. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. We got James in the chat. Hey, man, happy Easter. Can't wait for night two. Night two is going to be a fun one. At least on paper, it is shaping up to be a lot better than night one for sure. Do you know how much they bought AAA? I don't think that information's been released. I don't even think we know what the acquisition looks like because there's a few different ways this could play out. There's a straight up acquisition, which I don't feel like this is going to be, or there's an influx of cash, and that kind of is acting as an acquisition of at least part of the product. I'm not sure. Triple H did clear up a notion that, any notion that he would be directly involved in making decisions for AAA. I think the plan right now, and again, the plan right now is to have AAA kind of run as it's been running, only under the WWE umbrella. They probably paid $5 million for the promotion AAA. I mean, yeah, I'd have no idea. But, yeah, it was very interesting to see. Omer, what Junior announced when Paul Heyman screwed Punk and Roman? Junior? JR, oh my God, I'm so... I mean, we could... Let me see, can we even... I don't even know if we can play this. Maybe I can, like, show it, like, small or something. Or, like, I'll show a little bit of it. Let's actually see. Let's see how much trouble I get in for this one. All right, let's see how much trouble I get in. Well, we ain't playing no sound here. I ain't trying to get cooked. All right, so this would be JR's call, I assume, of this thing. All right, Roman Reigns, steel chair in hand, and Paul Heyman. Oh my God, what the hell? Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, what the hell? And I sound like Pat McAfee. Hold up, we gotta restart that. Yeah, I just sound smack like Pat McAfee. I just sound smack like Pat McAfee. By God, King, can you believe it? Roman Reigns, a poetic end to this match. Steel chair in hand. About to put an end to Rollins. God, he just twisted Roman Reigns. Jesus, he just twisted Roman Reigns. It's crazy. I don't know. Something like that, probably. Hopefully, this stream isn't going to get cooked now. What's your money? Alberto Del... hey, man. You got Dana White. I mean, you got Stephanie McMahon interviewing Dana White, so I guess Alberto Del Rio, they're totally fine with all the stupid whack shit he did. Makes all the sense in the world for Paul Heyman to help Seth destroy Cody Rhodes. I think so, too. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we got Tom Martin in the chat saying, I mean, damn, they could have made the Paul Heyman turn a little bit less predictable, though. Yeah, as soon as he was, like, standing in that ring for as long as he did, I was like, okay, he's just going to do it. He's going to do it up. I mean, but that's what it is, man. It is about it's about the spectacle. You know, it's not about the wrestling. It's not about making it look predictable or not. It's just like, oh my God. It's about Michael Cole getting on there. Oh my God, what a major WWE WrestleMania moment presented by Snickers. That's what it's all about now. We got someone in the chat saying WWE Rhea Ripley Women's Championship wins WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas right now. Riptide. Yep. That very well could happen. That's a match I'm excited for because, honestly, I don't know who walks away as the champion in that match. But we'll talk about the card in a sec. Where do you think Seth goes from here? Guys, we'll talk about Seth. We'll talk about Seth. Don't y'all worry. Don't y'all worry. First, though, we got to talk about this card in order. And let's talk about Jey Uso, I should say. Jey Uso winning the WWE World's Heavyweight Championship from Gunther, ending Gunther's long, I believe, over 8-month title reign with a sleeper hold. So, story going into this match was Gunther did not believe that Jey Uso was on his level. The story going into this match was that Jey Uso was essentially a pretender in Gunther's eyes, that he wasn't up to the challenge. And again, remember at Saturday Night's Main Event, I believe a couple of months ago, Gunther had already defeated Jey Uso. So you could make an argument, and you might be right, that that was true. And I think, both in kayfabe and in, reality, I think this match did not live up to the expectations that were set before it. Because even though the story wasn't good up until, like, Gunther put that man in a chokehold, put that man's brother, I should say, in the chokehold, and left, like, that scene on Monday Night Raw that was one of the coolest endings to a Raw I've ever seen. Even though that happened, this match just seemed like a regular-ass match. This would have underwhelmed on a PLE, and I'm not just talking about in-ring, I'm talking about storytelling-wise, too. Like, story-wise, there wasn't much to this match. It didn't feel like they were telling a WrestleMania PLE level story. Were they telling a story? Sure, and you're going to have a bunch of content creators go, bro, but doesn't it make logical sense? Sure, it makes logical sense. Doesn't make it that doesn't mean it's fucking good. Doesn't mean it's highbrow. It doesn't mean that it's up to scruff where we expect Jey Uso and Gunther to be. It's okay to say it underwhelmed. It's okay, people. And that's what I think. I think it underwhelmed. And I got a chat in here by Moon Invader. Then why watch? You know why I watch? Because I love professional wrestling. Because I respect Gunther. I love Gunther. I'm a fan of Gunther because I'm a fan of Jey Uso. You know why I watch? Because I love professional wrestling. Because I'm a fucking fan. Because I spend money on the product. That's why I watch. Just because I didn't think one night of WrestleMania was good doesn't mean that I'm a mark, I'm a shill, I'm just trying to make noise where there isn't any. It's just an opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's okay. It's okay not to like my opinion. It's okay to disagree. It's the whole point of fandom, right? You're allowed to disagree. But come on, why watch? Come on, guys. Anyway, ending of the match sees Jey Uso lock in a sleeper hold on Gunther, trying at least to mirror some of what happened in their feud earlier on. Again, there was no build-up to this. Jey just kind of locked it in, and Gunther almost immediately tapped. Say what you guys want. I thought this underwhelmed. Also, and this is kind of a running theme throughout WrestleMania last night, the crowd was not great. The crowd was not great. The crowd was pretty bad, to be honest with you. It was pretty bad. Like, they just didn't seem into it. It's like the same issue I have with like the Super Bowl. And like this kind of happens as, you know, these events get bigger and bigger. And I'm not saying that WWE should make WrestleMania as big as possible or whatever. But the issue you run into when you make your event very expensive, accessible to more corporate and affluent and rich people like this, like the Super Bowl has done, is you had a lot of people there who aren't there to watch the game. It's just kind of like vibes, which is fine. It's Vegas. Of course, there are going to be no real fans. No, there were real fans there. It just, man, they were just sitting on their hands, and they were just sitting on their hands most of the time. They should have done a small package for the end. I do like those. I do like those. Like, well, are you talking about a small package? I thought you were talking about like a video package at the end. I do miss those for Mania, but I don't think a small package would have done it. I have no problem with him like choking out Gunther. There was just no build up to it. Like something like even something like if you're gonna do a storytelling match, something like Jey Uso like seeing a vulnerable Gunther, like and just being like taking that second to pause and being like, I remember what you did to my brother, and then bam, locks it in. Also, it was like a pretty like loose. I mean, what it is. I'm not gonna calm down. It's my show. Do whatever the hell I want. We got King also saying EO is winning the other. First of all, come on, man. Don't be coming in here with that. Don't be coming in here talking about Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Wasp. That's crazy. That's that's crazy. Is your opinion? I'm not offended, but also I hope you didn't get offended when I called you sicko. Nah. I was okay. So here's the thing, Michelle. I don't get offended. I don't do nothing, unless someone's being a real dick in the chat. But which you were not. I want to be clear. But when these glasses come on, I'm not Omer anymore. I'm Big Om. Big Om is a heel. Just so you know. I am a heel right now. And WrestleMania was cooked 1 out of 10. No. I was joking around. It's all good, man. It's all good. All love, all fun. It's game. It's wrestling. It's fucking wrestling. It's okay. I was shocked that Gunther tapped out so fast. That's what I was shocked about too. I was really shocked about that too. I couldn't believe that they did that quick. Well, she might say, did you watch Stand and Deliver? I have not had a chance to. I probably won't until tomorrow, just because of a bunch of things I have going on with my schedule today. And then Mania, I will watch probably like at some point tomorrow. This might be a little bit of a good segue to something that's happening tonight. Do you think Randy's opponent is Rusev? Because I think it's him. I'm kind of torn here because I 100% see a world where WWE bring in a returning Rusev, and it's a great vibe, and everyone's excited, and Randy squashes him. Randy beats him. And it's a major WrestleMania moment presented by Dude Wipes WWE. Like, and you know, like they're going to hype it up. And it's not going to matter that Rusev lost because vibes. Story doesn't matter. Wins don't matter. Losses don't matter. It's just vibes in WWE. And that's fine. The more I think about it, the more I feel like that's going to end up being the match. I think the other candidate would probably be Solo Sikoa. I think they previewed that pretty well on SmackDown. I mean, look, regardless who it is, I would save Rusev for Raw after Mania because you want a big return there. I think Solo would be good. I think Karrion Kross coming out, maybe doing a little thing would be good. You got to have someone who can take the pin against Randy. And I don't know if you want to do that with Rusev this early. Hello, Frank. Hopefully you're doing well. Happy Easter. We got Eric saying, who do you think replaces Bayley? So this is, actually, let me come back to the Night 2 stuff, guys, and then I'll, let me finish up the Night 1 stuff, and then we'll come back to the Night 2 stuff. Oh, this is a wild one right here. This is a wild one. Jey Uso joins Ilya Dragunov as the only names to have ever made Gunther tap out in WWE. By God. By God. But shout out to Jey Uso, man. Look, it is what it is. We're going to talk about how good or bad it's going to be. I am happy that Jey Uso won the World Championship. He probably should have won the WWE Championship at SummerSlam 2023. That was the time to do it. That was his moment. That was the biggest that he was ever going to be. But he did it. And shout out to him. Another shout out to this match that made absolutely nobody get off their feet. New Day defeating the War Raiders to become the new tag team champions. By the way, this photo of Kofi is wild. He looks like that fucking Triple H statue. Like, or no, what is the wax? Yeah, the wax statue. Y'all remember the Triple H wax statue with the eyes bulging out? But Kofi is... Shout out to Kofi Kingston. This is a funny-ass face that he's making. But you had the New Day victorious over the War Raiders. Pretty nothing match. No build. This should have been on SmackDown. I think here is where you could have had, if Bayley was not going to be the plan for Mania in that tag match, you probably should have done Roxanne Perez and Bayley here. You could have done, I think, a lot here. You could have done that tag team match that they're going to have next week on SmackDown here with the Street Profits, DIY, and everybody else. I don't know why this match was on here. You didn't have the big moment with Big E coming out. You didn't have any heat on this match. This was raw, like this was a Raw match on WrestleMania. And you're coming off of a match in Jey Uso and Gunther that had that did not really, that you knew was not going to be a hyped match to the level that you expect out of an opener. So my question is, why didn't you put something a little bit more splashy on here? You should have. You probably could have. But again, I mean, it is what it is. This just did nothing for me. Were you happy when the New Day won? I mean, I wasn't unhappy. It's just I just didn't. I mean, what was there to win? What? I mean, what? You know what I'm saying? What? Okay, New Day won. They didn't advance the storyline. They played up all this Big E stuff that happened a couple of months ago, and none of it came to fruition. None of it mattered. So I'm sitting here okay, so you're just riding the coattails of this one segment that cooked for you guys a couple of months ago. You're riding the coattails of that, and it doesn't even matter because it doesn't play at all into the match and the story you're telling. All right. Is what it is, man. I think everyone's pretty much in agreement. You got Jacques. It's I like that. Jacques 25, saying we didn't need that match. I agree. We'll talk about night 2 in just a little bit. It should have been on Raw. There we go. We should not be getting a Raw match at WrestleMania. I mean, we got a few of them tonight. Anyway, well, you know what wasn't a Raw match and was very entertaining, a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and I thought these two went out there and did a great job. Jade Cargill and Naomi. Let me tell you something. This right here is the magnum opus of Naomi's career. The stuff that she's done over the past couple of months as a character was already fantastic. This match was dope. I thought that this match, up until like this point to the night, was the best match on the show. Not even close. And like there was a spot, I think it was like this one here, where Jade hold up. Yeah, I think it was this spot here. Where Jade, let's not play the sound here, because I'm not trying to get cooked. But yeah, this spot where Jade catches Naomi and does the vertical drop. This is cool. Like for the first time in Jade's time in WWE as a single star, she feels like she's important. And last night kind of proved it. Naomi, of course, I think also did a fantastic job. These two went out there and put on, I think, a great match. A fun match, an entertaining match. The spectacle was there. Everything you could have wanted was there. As far as especially what we expected from this match. Fantastic. These two delivered. Naomi's entrance, by the way, with the crime tape was dope. I loved it. And Jade did another powerbomb move, and also Jade. I don't think Jade is gonna get rid of the her fantastic pin motion. But man, nah, it was a fun match. It was a fun match. I can't hate Naomi. I feel like Jade should have been heel, but it was good. Yeah. I mean, I think you could have done. I think Naomi, there was a chance maybe to do a double turn at some point, but I think you want to build up Jade to be a babyface, right? That's the end goal, and I got no problem with it. I enjoyed the story they told. I really enjoyed the story they told. They should have had Street Profits at Mania. Jade is an absolute star, so is Naomi. Yep, I fully agree. I can't wait to see Jade win a championship. You're probably gonna have to wait a little bit for that. Actually, no. You gotta hope that Triple H doesn't forget that he has Women's United States and Intercontinental belts. Jade's in ring is still just okay. I mean, here's the thing, man. I think she's a lot more solid than people think and give her credit for. To be honest with you, for me, I think Jade doesn't need to be, she doesn't need to be out here like Chad Gable or Ray Phoenix or Swerve or Will Ospreay. She ain't gonna be that. She doesn't need to be. But regardless, she's able to tell a story in the match. She's able to do her moves, and she's able to look spectacular while doing it. And with the aura that she already has, that natural aura, she's gonna be good. We need more women's feuds that don't rely on the belts. Ha ha! I don't know what to tell you there. That you got to take that up with Triple H. Anyway, well, another thing we got to take up with Triple H is, hey man, look, shout out to Jacob Fatu, defeated LA Knight to become the new champion. Another match that did nothing for me. Jacob had a great finish of the match, but man, not much happening here. Not much really happened here. Jacob, again, I love Jacob. I'm here for Jacob. I adore Jacob. I'm a fan of him. But the way this match was booked was not great. I got a chat here. Omer, are you going to watch the Slammy Awards? That's what I'm not watching, bro. But shout out to Jacob Fatu, man. Shout out to Jacob Fatu. I have been waiting for years for this man to get an opportunity in WWE. It was long overdue when he finally got it. It was long overdue when it finally happened. And I thought that for the better part of 6 months, he was kind of undercut by being Solo Sikoa's sidekick. And they have done a lot to retcon that decision that was made. So yeah. Also, we got some questions about the gate. I'm not too sure about the WrestleMania gate, but what I can do is tell you that there were not 61,000 fans in attendance. That is just fundamentally not true. Not just because they're not just because WWE fudges the numbers with that, but also because there were not that many seats that were actually set up. So let's take a quick look here. This is WrestleMania Saturday. This is the latest WrestleTix count. This is from yesterday at 9 a.m. The arena, or the stadium, was set up for 57,000. They had about 56,000, I should say, tickets distributed. That would be about 5,000 less than what they, 6,000 less, excuse me. Yeah, about 6,000 less than what they announced in the arena. I'm not saying that WWE is lying about this, but if it's set up for 57,000 and there were 55,000 distributed, could they get 5,000 walk-ups? Absolutely. And you know what? Let's say they did. Where are these seats coming from, bro? Where are these extra seats coming from, bro? I'm just saying. But no, I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't get why they lie. 56,000, whatever. Hell, even 55, 57,000. That's a fucking great number. It's a great number. I think they just wanted to get that 60 in there. Like, 60,000. WWE. Dude wipes. So sick of Michael Cole, man. That's the other thing. I realize how much I hate Michael Cole on commentary. Like, I know people are just like, we want to give him his flowers because he called that one Beast in the East show without Vince McMahon. That was a really good call. And he's had a handful of good call matches since Vince McMahon left. But by God, all in all, man, Michael Cole is not it. I'm not afraid to say it either. Man. Like, the shilling, it is just so next level. It is so next level, like, over the top. And he does this thing that I really hate, which is, like, when there's a pinfall, like, you will know when it's the final pinfall every single time because of Michael Cole, because he will do his little, 3-word, salad thing that he does whenever there's things, with Cody. I mean, Cody, it made sense. I actually like what he did when he was like, finish the story. Or with Jade, but, doing it with Jade last night, Jade Cargill wins, or whatever he said. I'm like, bro, what do we do? He always does this. And then he goes and remember, this replay is presented by Hot and Sour Ramen Noodles. Get your spice on. WWE. Yeah, Michael Cole is annoying. I think that's him in real life. Yeah, man, well, it's corny. It's some corny shit. Where was Corey Graves last night? In the NXT arena. That's where he was. My boy is demoted down there. He is. He said, no. Wade Barrett's calling WrestleMania, and you're not, bro. That's where we at. Can't stand Michael Cole, but love Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett was cool. Pat made me have to shut off the audio multiple times. I was like, nah, this is what we not listening to. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Jade Cargill is here at WrestleMania. Oh my God, look at how she's a brick house, son of a bitch. I'm like, I'm so sick, bro. WWE commentary is horrible. And you know what? If we got the AEW show, bro, AEW commentary ain't that much better. What are we talking about here? Omer, you should watch the interview with Michael Cole did with Logan Paul. That's what I'm not doing. You tell me watch the interview Michael Cole did with Logan Paul. Bro, I watched the last episode of Impulsive I ever watched, fully, was the one where he had the Island Boys on and they crashed out. That shit was funny. That shit was entertaining. I'm not watching, Impulsive to see, Michael Cole get, glazed by Logan Paul for being the greatest announcer of all time. Jim Ross is the greatest announcer of all time. I don't care what anybody says, bro. Don't care what anybody says. Cole is so much better than he was a couple years ago. Yep. I agree. It's a very low bar, though, for being honest. WWE presented by Mediocre Wrestling and a bunch of ads. Here's what it is. Yeah, Michael Cole is the equivalent of Tony Schiavone to me. Both need to assume a backstage role that JR had during the Attitude Era. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, I have been saying that Tony's not great, man. I love Tony. I think his voice in, specific moments, I would use him like you use JR. Have him do, one match on a pay-per-view or something like that, or one big match that, it befits him. But man, I don't need Tony being like, oh, I love it. What is this Excalibur? Oh my god! Like I don't need him like especially on Collision, man. Like bring in something. Get Ian Riccaboni up in there. Come on, man. Do something. Nigel. See, my dream commentary team for AEW is Nigel and Excalibur. Those two would cook together. Cook together. All right, what else we got to talk about, guys? What else is on the docket? Well, we got so many matches. Let's just run through the rest of these matches for Mania. All right, so we had, okay, El Grande Americano. For those of you who don't know, he was set to take on Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, however, suffered an injury last night on SmackDown, or the night before, on SmackDown. He was unable to go. He was unable to wrestle. He was unable to perform at WrestleMania, so it was announced that there would be a replacement, and the replacement ended up being Rey Fénix, as I correctly and accurately predicted. That being said, they didn't really allow these guys to cook. I love the El Grande Americano thing. This man coming out with a mariachi band, like playing like America the Beautiful or whatever the hell that was. Fantastic stuff. I think it's great satire. It's fantastic, like, you know, playing on like the dumb appropriating American trope. And eventually he's going to get his comeuppance. He's going to get his comeuppance. And it's going to happen. And it's going to be hilarious. Because the whole point of this is he's a dick. And to quote Tony Schiavone, haha, I love it. Anyway, so Grande Americano versus Rey Fénix. I was super hyped when I realized that Rey Fénix was on the table here. I thought it was the right decision to have him in this match. That being said, outside of the 450, outside of an insane move, by the way, the 450 reverse senton that Chad Gable did, which actually I think, yeah, here it is. Yeah. So, oh no, let me not get cooked. But like, yeah, insane move by Chad Gable, crazy, wild move by Chad Gable to pull off here. Oh, sorry, a Grande Americano. Sorry, Grande Americano. Look, he's not Chad Gable. Come on, that's like saying Sami Zayn is El Generico. Ain't no way. Anyway, but a Grande Americano cooked, and yeah, I actually like what Chad Gable's doing right now. I mean, he's a catering. I guess you like catering. Anyway, but no. Grande Americano, that was a fantastic spot, but that was really it in the match. And for a Mania show, a Mania Night 1 that was very much lacking in like banger matches, and I think you need at least one, right? For any PLE, for any pay-per-view, for any WrestleMania, you need at least one. They didn't have one. In fact, this match got like 7 minutes 50, I think. Meanwhile, the New Day versus the Viking Raiders got almost 10 minutes. The main event obviously got like 30 plus minutes. The Women's World Championship match got 19 minutes. You had a bunch of other matches get like 9-10 minutes. And this was this was pretty boring. Not what I expected. Maybe I expected too much. I'm not expecting balls to the wall like, you know, indie-rific, AEW, New Japan level professional wrestling. But I'm expecting them to cook. They just didn't get a chance to cook. Just did not get enough time. It should have been, I think Wall Street Money said it. Yeah, it should have been longer. I agree. Rey Mysterio just didn't want to take I don't think that's true. Also, pinning Rey Fénix is a wild decision in my view. It is, I don't know. It's a wild decision. But not as wild as not hitting that like button, guys. It's WrestleMania season. Why haven't you smashed that thumbs up? Do it right now for me. But yeah, the reverse 450 was ungodly. Like that was insane, bro. Like, because I was expecting him to do a moonsault, and he somehow turned it into like a 450 reverse senton. Like, and Chad Gable is no spring chicken. The man is like, what, 36, 37 years old, something like that. He's getting up there, and my boy is still getting up there. Like, shout out to him, bro. Shout out to him. El Grande Americano took Chad Gable's job. It took her job. That's crazy. That's crazy. Raised a groin injury. Yeah. All right. But yeah, that match should have had way more time. All right. And then we get to one of our two penultimate matches. Tiffany Stratton arriving at WrestleMania in a Barbie doll box. She's the Buff Barbie, after all. And you had Charlotte Flair coming out last. Here was the big thing. There was a bit of a controversy that I saw, and I kind of noticed it on the fly as I was watching. I was like, oh, okay, this might get people riled up. Tiffany Stratton, regardless of being the champion, came out first, and then Charlotte came out last. And usually what happens is if you're the champion, you're going to come out last because that goes from like order of importance or whatever. Charlotte came out last here. And that had me thinking, I was like, oh, are they putting Charlotte over on Tiffy? That's crazy. Michael Cole also had an interesting line. One of, if not the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. I'm not going to argue against that. I think Charlotte Flair is probably the most decorated women's wrestler in the modern era for sure. Possibly, like, definitely one of the most decorated of all time. Charlotte Flair is in the ring, she's one of the greatest. Promos might not be it, but in the ring, when it comes time to cook, when comes time to get a crowd going, she knows exactly what to do within those ropes. And that's why I always compare her to like Randy Orton, because Randy Orton, up until like recently, like the last 2 years, was not really a good promo. Was not the best at like engaging a crowd with his mic work or anything like that. But in the ring, man, always solid, always good, always great. So Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton have a match. Tiffany winds up winning, retaining against Charlotte Flair. Technically, this was the best match on this card. From a technical wrestling standpoint, this was the best match on this card. I thought Charlotte Flair was very, very good. Tiffany Stratton also very, very good. I would say this was a PLE level match. I don't know if it rose to the WrestleMania level match. The issue I had with a lot of stuff on this card, outside of the main event, is a lot of these matches didn't really get time to get into that next gear. And I thought this is a match that it was like one of the only matches that got into that second gear, but then it didn't have any time to get into that third gear that it really needed to get into to be, an overly memorable match. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it happened. Tiffany retained. I thought, Tiffany hitting her moonsault was great. And yeah. And if I sound down on this, I'm not trying to sound down on the match. I'm just like, all right, and all right, I don't know. There's something weird about this this whole night that kind of just had me like, all right, well, it feels like stuff is just happening. And I know the stories. I'm not disconnected from the stories. Some of the stories I was really into, but it's just like, all right, stuff is just happening. And now we're going to move on. And didn't feel like this was a crescendo to a big feud. I'd rather see Charlotte wrestle more than talking. Yeah. That's why I think she could end up going to AEW at some point. 10 belts, Mercedes Moné is the greatest women's wrestler, right? I would probably, my vote would probably go to Becky. I think for me, Becky is probably the greatest of all time as far as women's wrestling goes. And look, this is one person's opinion. It's not something I've thoroughly thought through. But I would put Becky above Charlotte and Mercedes for that matter. And that's no shade at Mercedes or Charlotte. They're both obviously in that tier as well. But man, I just think Becky was. We're talking about bigger, right? Becky, man, she was big time. Without kayfabe titles out of the way, what has she done? Who has she put over? Who has she elevated in the ring? Athena, Mercedes, heck, Bayley, Becky, all wipe her. No, she's put all of those people over. Outside of Athena, but she's put all those people over. She was instrumental in, I think, putting Rhea Ripley not on the map because she was already like pretty known, but she put her in that upper echelon, that match they had at Money in the Bank 2021 that the crowd was like very much against, and Charlotte and Rhea, large part due to Charlotte, got them back into it. Charlotte is, I think I think Charlotte gets a bad rap. Part of it is her own fault, certainly, but I also think sometimes people project things that aren't there onto her, and that becomes an issue. You got Tiffany had an appointment with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Yeah, it looked like Tiffany had like a tooth knocked out for a second, but apparently she's all good. Like she came to the press conference, she was all fine. Charlotte's the GOAT, then Sasha Banks. Had a dreamer, hadn't made it, and I'm on the Sasha Banks, baby. I love that. We got Just Humble in the chat saying WrestleMania 41 failed to understand the assignment of creating a story that brings smiles to people's faces. Yeah, or just makes people feel. I think that was the big. I did not feel up until the main event. The main event made me feel, but everything else I was just like WWE hot and sour soup. Maybe it's Michael Cole. Maybe I just really fucking hate Michael Cole. Maybe it's as reductive as that. I doubt it, but maybe it's it. I really liked the match. Hot take, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match too. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. It just, you could tell though they were going somewhere with it. You know, it just felt like the match just ended abruptly. Jesus, chippy time is crazy, guys. Come on now. Let's not do that. Let's talk about this main event, and then we can talk about night 2, guys. And I got to talk about AAA because I'm just, oh my God, I'm just beside myself with that one. That way you say WWE, I think is what we meant to say. Also, Triple H having like the longest Hall of Fame induction speech of all time is so on brand. It's one thing to induct yourself in the Hall of Fame. It's another to be like, and it's going to be all about me, behold the king. Everyone's going to be up until 4 o'clock in the morning. Bro, that was so funny. Jey Uso is the smartest man in WWE, by the way. Because during Hunter's Hall of Fame speech, they cut to multiple people. People were fighting for their lives that night. Because for them, right, it's like what? 1 a.m., past 1 a.m., almost 2 a.m. on the West Coast. But all these people, like most of them live on the East Coast. People were tired. And NXT call time was something crazy like 5, 6 a.m. So people were cooked. And they knew they were going to be cooked the next day. And Triple H was just droning on and on and on and on. There's this funny picture of like Jey Uso, like the smartest man in that entire Levante Blue hotel like arena or whatever. Because my boy came in wearing shades and he was sleeping. Jey Uso was sleeping, wearing shades. Booker T got caught sleeping. Like my boy was out, knocked out. I think, but Bianca, hold up. I think Bianca maybe got caught too. Let me see if I can find here. Okay, here's the tweet. I saw this tweet. It's like everyone's fighting for their lives, and it's just like, bro, like my boy Jay, again, smartest man in the room. Booker was cooked. He was sleeping in one angle. He was done in another angle. Bailey's just out here like, hello, darkness, my old friend. Yo, Triple H really said,
I am going to ruin wrestling.
That's what he said, bro. My boy was, bro, Triple H, he put them through that. And he's like, all right, good luck at your 6 a.m. call time. But shout out to Booker T, man. Shout out to Booker T. He's like, his speech was longer than WrestleMania. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's true, though. They need to start doing Hall of Fame on Thursday night. I think that's what they used to do, and it used to be good. But, by God, starting that joint at 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern was crazy. Shout out to Brian Kenny from Kiss the Ring who stayed up and actually watched the entire thing. That was not about to be me. I was not about to be able to do that. Could not have been me. Should not have been me. Would not have been me and will not be me. By the way, guys, 22 of you in here, be sure to smash that thumbs up like there's no tomorrow. Help. Help, help, help. That is it. Help. Yeah, the crowd was asleep. Everyone was basically asleep. Like, I can't wait for Austin to stun The Rock tonight. This was not happening. This was not happening. That would just be, I would be so mad if that happened. Anyway, shout out to Ali Sinan in the chat. We got the main event to talk about. So we got Seth freaking Rollins coming out wearing all white. The Savior coming down the aisle on the eve of Easter. I'm sure there's some symbolism there to draw from. Rollins comes out with a flamethrower. Pretty dope entrance. All Darby Allin edition. Then you got Roman. Roman just came. Roman literally just like looked like he dressed for the gym. He looks like he was dressed for the gym, and he's like, oh, hold up, let me Ulafala on. Bet we out here. My boy got the Jordan 11s on. He got some sweatpants on, and he got the Ulafala, and he said, we going to work. Roman came out like he had one more match left in him. He's like, nah, bro. After this, cancel Christmas on me. I'm done. I'm going to Hollywood. This was like. This man showed up to work like this. That's crazy. And we'll talk about Roman, whether or not he cares anymore. The aura was kind of there, although it looked weird. He weirdly looked like naked without the belts, and also without Paul Heyman. It just felt like the aura wasn't there, you know. Anyway, then we get this amazing promo package of CM Punk. And it's a mirror of him in his first promo in WWE. It's like, my name is CM Punk. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. The only high I get is in a professional wrestling ring. And they're cutting back and forth between the promo he cut in 2006 when he premiered in ECW and a modern day retelling of that where he's essentially saying that. And then we heard Fire Burns. Look, man. I am a massive CM Punk fan. Massive. I don't care what you guys say. Have I criticized Punk in the past? Absolutely. Deservedly so. But by God, man, this was the one thing this entire night that got me out of my seat and excited. I've been watching CM Punk, Phil Brooks, wrestle for nearly 20 years at this point. And to see the look back at his career, to see everything that has led him down this road to the main event of WrestleMania was beautiful. It was absolutely freaking beautiful. It's moments like these that you live for as a professional wrestling fan. It's moments like these and moments like these promos and these lookbacks that make you, as a longtime fan, they make you feel good, right? Like, I look at this, I look at the Bryan Danielson, Green Day video that released ahead of All In. I look at, the retirement video for Bryan. I look at, so many things, bro. Like, this was awesome. And we got Living Color to perform. My boy took a selfie. He was like, the reflection lies. That was cool. You could tell Punk was happy as all hell to be there. This was peak. This was peak this show. This was peak as far as entrances go. One of my favorite entrances of all time. Probably, if not my favorite promo package in WWE history. One of my favorite in wrestling history. And yeah. And then the bell rung. And we got some cool moves. We got this pedigree. We got the GTS. We got all of this cool stuff. And then, by God, we got the ending. Where, as Wall Street Money says, Paul Heyman said, grip that thing when you kiss that ring. Because, my goodness gracious, the way that Paul Heyman delivered this freaking, look at this. And then he's just like, jamming it up in there. I'm like, bro, what are we doing, bro? I thought this was a PG show. That was crazy. That was wild. That was insane. I'm not going to lie. Very storytelling match. Match was kind of boring. I'm not gonna say for a WrestleMania main event, this was not as engaging as I think. Obviously, Cody and Roman were last year. This is nowhere near as engaging as Cody and Roman were the year before that. There's nowhere near as engaging as the Sami KO WrestleMania win at 39. This was nowhere near as engaging as even Brock versus Roman. Like, this was a very good main event PLE level match. I don't think it rose to the level of a WrestleMania match. Was it a major WrestleMania moment and segment? Absolutely. Like, that finish, even with Paul Heyman doing it up in there, that finish was an all-time level finish. The match is what it is. Didn't matter because the finish was so great. Seth Rollins turned his back once again on Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman turned his back on both Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And you might be asking yourselves, why? Why in God's name would the walrus himself, Paul Heyman, do this? And it's because Roman Reigns, when Paul Heyman was getting beat down, when Paul Heyman was getting bullied, when Paul Heyman was getting victimized by Solo Sikoa and the New Bloodline, where was Roman that entire time? Roman didn't come back to save Paul Heyman. Roman didn't come back to help Paul Heyman. Roman never checked in on Paul Heyman. Roman never even apologized to Heyman, never even apologized to Jimmy, never even apologized to Jey, never even apologized to Sami. Roman Reigns is a heel. Seth Rollins is a very, very justified heel in his hatred for Roman Reigns. Because at the end of the day, Roman is still a dick. That's just the gosh darn truth. He is still a dick. Why did Paul Heyman turn on CM Punk? Because CM Punk, also a dick. That entire time that Paul Heyman is getting beat down, that entire time Paul Heyman, where's CM Punk? CM Punk only came to Paul Heyman when it was convenient. CM Punk only came around and saw Paul Heyman when he needed that favor. He didn't care about Paul Heyman. He didn't care about any of this. Come on. Which is a better main event? This or Roman versus Triple H from 36? 36. You mean 32. 2016, I think you mean. 32, 2016. Oh, I mean, yeah, no. Triple H versus Roman is one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. That is like, I'm not saying that this is as bad as no. This clears that and then some. Like, Roman versus Triple H could not have even main evented Raw. That was just a horrendous affair. Like, I think my exact reaction when someone asked me about it back in the day was, I award you, it was Vince McMahon, I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul. Shout out to Billy Madison, but that was a bad match. This is not the first time that he turned his back on Roman and Punk, and the other times he was with Brock Lesnar, and now we got Seth Rollins, three-way dick match. I mean, that's what Paul Heyman was like, all KTR edition. Omer, when you wear the sunglasses, it's what happens. It's what happens, man. Big O, look. Omer Q is always going to give you the real takes. Omer Q is always going to be the nice, affable guy that you guys have come to know and smash that thumbs up for. But Big O was crazy. Big O would do anything. Anyway, no, not even that, Brad. It's just content. We got A Boogie in the chat. Could we get a Paul Heyman in his ECW attire? I don't know if you'll get that again. I think the Hall of Fame is probably the last time we'll get that. I like the match. I like the match as well. I think this match could have ended any time. Paul Heyman said, "Grip that thing and kiss that ring." Yep, that's what he said, verbatim, word for word. So yeah, that was Mania. Overall, look. Last night, my instant reaction on the KTR channel, I gave this a 4, I think, out of 10. I'll up that to a 4.5 so far. Again, this is not an indictment on like the main event particularly. It's not an indictment on anyone. I'm just like, this was the weaker night. I believe that night 2 will be better. But if you're asking me for a WrestleMania, for a for a PLE, whatever, 4.5 out of 10 right now. I think night 2 can definitely change that perception, but we'll see. And we get to this. Frank G. Life in the chat says, question, will Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman get involved in the Cody versus John Cena match tonight? I think it's possible. I think that the more I think about that possibility of Seth Rollins not only settling his scores with CM Punk, settling his scores with Roman Reigns, but coming back around and saying, Cody, I helped you win that belt. And you made a promise to me. You made a promise to me when you won that belt that you didn't fulfill. Seth Rollins has not competed for the WWE Championship while Cody's been champion. Seth Rollins has not had a chance. Seth Rollins has not been given that opportunity. So he has all the motivation in the world to do that. I think Sean Ross Sapp, right, on the Fightful post show last night, made a good comment where he said, he's not against the idea that in kayfabe, The Rock made multiple overtures to multiple people in that Elimination Chamber match. And it wasn't just John Cena. It was maybe Seth Rollins as well. Like, he had a backup plan in case Cena didn't win, in case Rollins did. And maybe that's why Rollins, at the end of the day, helped Cena win at the end after he was eliminated, because he was like, all right, bet. One of us is going to win this. It would make a lot of sense if that's what they're doing. It would be a major moment if Seth Rollins costs Cody and you have Seth, John Cena, The Rock, and Travis, by God, Scott, ending the night, standing over Cody while John Cena holds the belt. It would be a hell of a power trip. It would be a hell of a power trip. Everything might come back around again. Yep, I think tonight has a chance to be very well. Night 1 was a 7 out of 10 for me. I really liked Stratton versus Flair in the main event. LA Knight versus Fatu. Yeah. Again, was everything solid? Did everything make sense? Sure, but just didn't feel like Mania, man. Sometimes if WWE is a show that's booked completely on vibes, if I'm going to grade it by vibes, you're going to get the vibes grading. But shout out to everyone who enjoyed it. Cena will win. The Rock, Seth, Heyman walking out. Watch it happen. I think it very well could happen. Glass shatters. Could you imagine if, like, at the end of the night, the glass shatters, Cody thinks he's getting help, and then, like, The Rock and Stone Cold shake hands. By God, if JR just comes out, by God, I've been released by AEW. Damn you, Stone Cold. You're shaking hands with the devil himself. You son of a bitch. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Oh, man. All right, let's talk a little bit about night 2, and then I want to talk about the AAA acquisition. So here we go. This seems to be the card for night 2, or most of it, I should say. We obviously have the big John Cena versus Cody Rhodes match. I think I talked about that. I think Cena wins. The best case scenario is we do that Seth Rollins thing. Another way this could go is The Rock distracts Cody. The Rock should show up tonight. If he doesn't, that's a big no-no by WWE. But Rock distracts Cody. Cena wins. New champ. Either way, Cena should win. We also got the match I'm most looking forward to tonight. The women's triple threat. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's World's Heavyweight Championship. Presented by Hot and Sour Ramen Noodle Soup. Slurp it up. Anyway, World Heavyweight Championship on the line in the triple threat match. This match is one of my only saving graces for this show as a sicko wrestling fan. Because I believe so much in these three and their ability to go out there, tell an amazing story in the ring as wrestlers. They are going to cook. And if they don't, and Triple H says, you're getting 9 minutes, we're going to have a conversation, because then Triple H might have to get up out of there. We might have to get him up out of there, man. Out of the Hall of Fame, out of it all. Will Naomi and Jey get involved in this match? I hope not. I hope no shenanigans. I just want to see these 3 women cook. Speaking of cooking, we also got and by the way, my winner for that, I think it's probably going to be Bianca, but I wouldn't be mad if Io won. Yeah, and we also got the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker, the Intercontinental Champion. This match also has the potential to absolutely bash, bang, hump, all of the above. Not try, though. This match is going to be amazing, too. Or has a chance, I should say, to be amazing. I think Braun Breaker loses it here. I could see a situation where Dominic Mysterio pins Finn Balor, and we slowly start the descent. Well, it's going to be slow because it's WWE booking. Everything's fucking slow here. But slowly start the descent of the bloodline, the Judgment Day. And I think we get that big Finn Balor face turn, and Finn recaptures the Intercontinental belt from Dominic Mysterio. It's a great way to heat up Finn again. Then we also got women's tag match. So big controversy here. It's supposed to be Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. For whatever reason, they have written Bayley out of this match, which begs the question, why the hell have Bayley in this spot? And also begs another question, why is Lyra, the reigning Intercontinental Champion, in this match? Why is she not defending her belt on SmackDown, not defending her belt on night 1 of WrestleMania, night 2 of WrestleMania? A lot of questions here. We're not going to get no answers. This then prompted a lot of controversy online because people were like, why would you do this? Mercedes Moné got in on the action, basically telling Bayley to call her. Call her if he wants to make some money. This is going to be an interesting take for me. Bayley is locked up for, I think, another at least 2 years, potentially 3. I do think, man, if Bayley gets out of her contract, it's going to be an interesting free agent period for her. It's going to be a very interesting free agent period for her if she gets out of that contract. Because, and it's not just this decision, it's like a multitude of things that I think have kind of played out. I'm just saying, man, don't be surprised if eventually she jumps ship. As far as who is going to be the mystery partner for Lyra Valkyria, I think everyone's kind of in agreement. I see y'all in the chat. Probably going to be Becky. Probably should be Becky. Probably will be Becky. And I assume Becky and Lyra will win, which, you could do a couple of interesting things there. You could have them to have a very short reign, and then eventually Becky costs Lyra and herself the championships by walking away or something, and then comes back and says, I want the Intercontinental belt. I think that's a solid storyline to do. And then we got a Sin City Street Fight presented by Fortnite. Get your head in the game. WWE. WrestleMania, Sin City Street Fight. We got Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. No rules, no story, just fists. I'm with it. Let's do it. Give me the stipulations. Give me the casino roulette tables. Have these two fight at the top of the MGM Grand Garden. Let's do it, baby. Drew wins. He better. Lol. And then we got AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. AJ's eating this pin. That's all I'm going to say. AJ's eating this pin. It's going to be sad. AJ's eating this pin. And then the last thing we got to talk about, Randy Orton has a mystery opponent tonight. We don't know who it's going to be. I spoke about this earlier, actually, I think, already. So I'm just going to recap. Rusev and Solo seem to be the most likely people in this. Either way, ain't no way Randy's losing tonight. Ain't no way he's losing tonight. All right, guys. I can't believe we have to fucking talk about this. I'm so mad. All right. So, last night, yesterday, leading up to WrestleMania, there was a. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna give you guys the full rundown here. So I came back from an activity yesterday. I was hanging out with some friends, having a good time, enjoying my Saturday. I come back, I'm tired, I didn't get much sleep the night before, had to leave a little early. So I'm like, I'm going to go take a nap before I watch Mania, and I jump right into that. So I take a nap, about 2 hours. I'm enjoying it, dreaming sweet dreams. And then I wake up, I check my phone, a couple of group chats are blowing up. DMs are kind of going crazy. So I'm like, okay, what's happening here? What's going on? And I look on the timeline and I see this. And my immediate reaction is, oh no, they signed Vikingo, which is now his new name. He's not El Hijo del Vikingo, it's Vikingo. Presented by Dude Wipes, WWE version. And my heart sank, but not as much as it did when I saw this tweet by Triple H, and I read the tweet by Triple H. A partnership that will benefit the entire world of sports entertainment. Lucha Libre AAA has been a cultural mainstay in Mexico and the home to many WWE superstars. This partnership will guarantee that AAA remains the premier destination for wrestling in Mexico. Special thank you as well to Patrick Dooley, Kevin Ronk from TKO Group for helping make this possible. Get ready for Worlds to collide soon. The future flies. All right. So I'm like, all right, well, okay, this is weird. But then we get the bad news, the real bad news, which is that AAA has been acquired by WWE. What's that line from that Kendrick song? You're not a colleague, you're a fucking colonizer. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. WWE is colonizing professional wrestling. The monopoly continues to build. I have no problem with people partnering with organizations. I have no problem with wrestling companies partnering together. That is good. That's fine. Build them up. Acquiring is a very, very different thing, though. Acquiring means that you have some level of control over the decisions of what happens to that. AAA has been a mainstay, yes, in Mexican professional wrestling culture for decades. AAA has, along with CMLL, been responsible for producing many of the biggest stars coming out of Mexico. AAA and Lucha in general in Mexico is built and maintained by local tradition. WWE has no respect for those local traditions. WWE and TKO have no respect for respecting those in the long run. At the end of the day, the way that they speak about these acquisitions, these partnerships, etc., it's about extracting value. It is about making sure that TKO, WWE, and their stock goes up. That is the only priority. Don't come at me with, this is great for professional wrestling. It's bad. It's bad. It's horrible. At no point will I believe, until proven otherwise, that it's all about, doing what's best for wrestling. I don't even believe that shit when AEW says it, to be honest with you. So why the hell am I supposed to believe when WWE does it? And no, it's not even about the library. The library is not as valuable to them. No one, what are they going to do with the library? The library, they're not going to add it to Peacock. They're not going to add it to Netflix. Maybe in Mexico they will, or Latin American countries, but they're not that doesn't add too much value for them. It probably costs more at this point, to be honest with you, to hold all of that tape library than it does to distribute it and what you're going to get out of it. What is the difference between this and AEW buying Ring of Honor? The difference between this and AEW buying Ring of Honor is that this is a foreign wrestling company. As I said before, WWE has no respect for Mexican culture in wrestling. WWE has no respect for any culture in wrestling. They are about making money. And if they have to gut and like whatever AAA, that's what they're gonna do. That's they feel in the long run that's going to be the most beneficial and extracting value outcome. As that's basically the quote that I hear every single fucking media call from these people. It's about extracting value. They're gonna extract it. Tony Khan has done a horrible job with the Ring of Honor. Don't get me wrong. But the idea of Ring of Honor was a dead brand anyway. Like, it was going to close its doors. And I think Tony Khan only bought it so it could be a developmental. It's a bad developmental. It's a horrible developmental. But there is a difference. Anyway. Vikingo, man. We lost a good one, bro. Thank God we got that Kenny match. Because, oh my God, Michael Cole calling this man's match is going to be wild. Oh my God, Vikingo with a wow. Presented by Fried Chicken. WWE sponsors. Okay, I'm sick of this. All right, guys. I think I've had enough. I don't know about y'all. Maybe y'all have had enough of me. I think I've had enough. Guys, I appreciate all of you guys. We got Frank G in the chat saying WWE cares about WWE. Everything else doesn't matter. It's true. To be honest, I think the reason why why Tony bought ROH was the All-In pay-per-view name. I think that was a big part of it. It was certainly a big part of it. And for AEW, they need more tape library. Like, they are definitely in more acquisition of library mode than WWE is. WWE already owns everything. WWE have unlimited funding. If you thought Vince was bad, just wait. Yeah. Triple H is gonna team Vikingo with a...
I am going to ruin wrestling. I am going to ruin wrestling. I am going to ruin wrestling.
I can't play it enough times, bro. I can't play it enough times. Jesus. We're down bad, baby. We're down bad. All right, guys. I'm pretty down bad, too, to be honest with you. I got to get some sleep. I got to eat something, and then I got to go and prepare for Mania. I will probably be live with the KTR dudes tonight on Kiss the Ring. We'll let you know if we go live, but you guys want to hear my initial thoughts about that, about night 2 of WrestleMania, my unfiltered thoughts. You want to, sorry, not even mine. You want to hear Big Ohm. You want to hear Big Ohm crash out about how bad Mania was. Tune in to Kiss the Ring later tonight. Anyway, guys, but until then, enjoy WrestleMania. One of the most fun weekends of the year. Don't let Triple H get you down. All right, guys, until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real. I'll see you.